Hello, this is Dr. Wendy Rowley. This is Heartfield Healing 2. Oh, no, sorry. This is Women's Sacred Sound, the sacred sound of women. This is episode 4, the Divine Feminine, and there will be a sound alignment in here. Okay, here we go. Good day to you, dear beings of light. It is Eleni of Cosmic Service, Pleiadian Mother of Sound. Let's share what we told this one when she asked the question years ago. Why do we always come in going, Because it opens the heart field. And in this particular series, we're going to start bringing in more information about sound. And this one's very interested in that. We think a lot of you are. And we're not going to tell what's in it because we want her to be not knowing. And there's a reason for that. And it'll unfold as we go through this. Okay, so we're talking about the Divine Feminine. And we explained what we called spontaneous remission very quickly in the last video of Universal Life. And now we would like to give the picture of heart field spontaneous remission because it's different. And this one had no idea. Okay, so when spontaneous remission happens in the heart field, as it does throughout your entire day, or in an actual healing event, or in a session with an energy worker, or light worker, or body worker, or sometimes massage therapists are just healing people and they don't know it because they're not aware of those levels, but they're touching. The most ancient form of healing is touching another person, an exchange of energy. So the Divine Feminine is, sorry, this one went, let's get her back. It says the Divine Feminine is doing its thing, but at the heart field, in women, it's doing something else. So first, let's talk about men. So in the heart field, we had mentioned that the Divine Feminine is the thing that comes down and first with codes of creation and starts to affect a resonance. In men, Universal Life and Divine Feminine come down through the back. They're also associated with the larynx, and it's a spontaneous remission pathway, very much like we described for Universal Life. The heart field level is the same for men there. But for women, it's different. So for women, the Divine Feminine comes down. Sorry about our hands. The Divine Feminine comes down. When you come into the channel of the neck with the high heart, you have hands. You can gesture. Can't use anything else. She doesn't allow anything below the neck, and that's wise. Okay, so sorry, that's a segue for anyone who's sort of studying the channeling or looking at that, because it's very popular right now. So the heart field for women comes in 2 ways. The Divine Feminine, the heart field for women, comes into the heart field for spontaneous remission, into the back of the voice box. I'm sorry, the back of the larynx and the back and the front, through the back, on your back side through Divine Feminine into the larynx and the creational center there, and down and through the front through the voice box and the creational center there. And it engages something that man's does not. It engages a different kind of code of creation in the heart field. It engages the regular one to work healing, but it also engages one at the level of the higher self. And only women can do this. This is the reason, the fundamental reason on why they say women are meant to be the healers and the shamans of the earth. Because their Divine Feminine goes into their higher self and continues into the higher self when the higher self joins and becomes a group, higher self soul group, the same way you have your individual being and you go over to the great field around the periphery of the planet at the edge, called the noosphere, and you go to the benevolent level of the big field. There is the this one lost her train of thought. It's not her thought. The Divine Feminine is of the higher selves are there. They're in the interim creational grid, and they're on the human consciousness grid. And so as the higher self moves up and becomes a group consciousness, the Divine Feminine can work through all of these grids in healing, in the idea of that spontaneous remission. And that simply is another way of saying healing really fast. So women are designed to be the healers. Women are designed to be the shamans. It's part of the system. And many people have brought this information forward. But no one's really explained why. So we want this why out there now, so that you have a foundation of understanding and acceptance of your divinity. So the sacred sound of women, and why we keep associating these creational energies, the healing, the creating, the evolution through the voice box, is because this, well, not only is this playlist about the sound of sacred women, but it's because of the tones of the heart, but also because of the evolution going on in the higher self healing system of women. And that is something we have not spoken about at all yet. We've spoken about it from the greater field and some aspects of the grids and intuition knowing and evolutionary spirit body healing abilities, but we have not spoken about it in relation to the group level and the higher self level. So we're going to unfold that in this coming year, in the work and the channelings that come through. So the divine feminine in women is very unique, very special, and very expansive. Expansive because it goes in a lot of different directions. Men are like whoop to the field and whoop back. Women are like to the field and back, but over here to the human consciousness grid, to all higher selves, soul group, spirit bodies. It's the easiest way to say it as a picture. And then up over here and over here and over here and over here and over here. And in other places beyond which we've said, because it's more information than you need. So that is what we wish you to understand about the divine feminine, and the fact that the divine feminine has a component within sound to allow spontaneous remission. And so that can work in men, and it can work in women for the physical body level, which is the one pathway we just described that both men and women have. But the sacred spiritual level of the creational level and the higher self soul group level that women have is also able to do spontaneous remission. And what kind of work is that? That's the ability to heal people spontaneously. Women have that ability. And that's going to get stronger from now through your evolution until you're in an official enlightened planet. And so that's millions of years of evolution, but that's starting for the first time on Earth. And that starts at the shift change time. And that's one of the many beatitudes coming to women in this time. And we'll be sharing more about these potentials and these beatitudes, as they are called, in the ancient Akash, the beauties of spirit, in this particular series, more than the tones of the heart. So may it be uplifting and beautiful for you. Now, this one has a sound alignment in it. So we're going to end, and it's going to be the same kind of thing. We're going to do our thing. We're going to end it so that you have a reference back to what this is. Okay, so this alignment allows the sound of the voice box through the higher self to go into alignment with soul. It allows the sound of the voice box of women's special additional energy field to go to the higher self to blend with the soul. Okay, here we go.